Okay, here we go for a slightly more involved example dealing with another issue in Pure Data about the sequence within that you actually trigger mathematical processes. So we're going to make a VAT calculator, which is relatively simple mathematically. VAT is 20%. So file new and file save as, and I'll put example for VAT. Again, just remember, just a quick reminder, no spaces, no funny characters, normally no capitals. The only additional characters you can use to extend words are the hyphen and the underscore. So I do underscore VAT. So no spaces, because this causes enormous problems with programs. So I'm going to start by putting an object box, do this rather laboriously, times by 20, another object box, divide by 100, put a number box after that, and put a number box at the top. Now I actually do need a little bit of space between these things. Save that. And if I type 20 into here, oh, I didn't put a space. I've noticed I've got an error here. It says here couldn't create. It's because I put divide but no space. So a space, there we go. I get the object box, save, type 20, and my VAT is 4. Now what I want to do now is add that 20 to the 4. So when I type my price, original price is 20, with VAT it'll be 24. So I need an add box here, and I add this down to there, and then I take this 20 and I put that there, put a number box out of here. So let's close that and open it again, and if I type 20 I get my answer 24. Now what happened there was the 20 went out of here, did that calculation, put the 4 into there, then took the 20 out of this pipe and did the addition. Watch what happens if I copy this. So I select, highlight all of that, Command D for duplicate, click one of those items and drag it to the right. Now if I hover over one of these pipes and click on it, you see it gets an X. I click on it, it goes blue. I can now delete it. Now if I drew these lines like this, so I drew the line from the 0 box here to the add box first, and then filled those in, when I type 20 I get 20, and the next time what's happened is the 20 has gone down here and comes straight out of the box. The 4 has gone into there, and it's the 4 that will be used next time round. So if I now type 30, I get my answer 34, and it should be 36. If I type 30 into here, it's clearly 36. Now this is plainly the cause of many errors. So PD, Pure Data, does its calculations in the order in which you create the links between boxes. So what we need to do is to make sure that these mistakes never happen. And the answer is not to make sure you draw your lines in the order you want the maths to happen. The answer is to make sure that you trigger the calculations as you want to see them. So what I want to do, I certainly want to draw that into there. So I want to make this patch process itself in a way that it doesn't matter which order I draw the boxes together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an object box called trigger, and then I'm going to put F and space F, float and float. there is a difference in pure data between an integer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and float 1.3, 1.0, 7.5, 8.0. And that you can use that every now and again, but most of the time pure data works with floats, irrespective of whether it's a number like that, which is an integer, or 30.5, which is a floating point number. And what happens here is 30 goes into this trigger box, and then this float here will come out of the right hand outlet first and the left hand outlet second. So this makes sure that this number comes out of here first and does that math, and then comes out of there and does that math. So if I go back to typing in 20, I make sure I get 24, and I think every time I do 30, 36, yeah, it's getting there perfectly. That's a quite laborious way of dealing with VAT. There's a much simpler way that also involves getting rid of all this trigger business, and that's put an object box, and we can use a mathematical expression. So with all of these boxes, you can right click on the box and get a help file, and then you can see in this subpatch here, you can see many different examples that you can copy. The expression box is extremely powerful. It asks that you do some maths on the number that you input to it. And that input is a variable given by the figure $F1. That's the first input, so that'll be that input. If I wanted to add two numbers together, $F1 plus $F2, notice I now get two inputs. That would be for $F2 and that would be for $F1. We only need $F1, and I need to multiply $F1 by 20 divided by 100. Well, 20 divided by 100 is 0.2, 0.2. But then, after I've done that, I want to add $F1, the number I'm going to put in. So now, mathematically, and this hopefully is around GCSE maths, I want to put a bracket around here so that that happens first, and then I want to add, guess what, $F1. Put a number box here, put a number box here, and type 30, 36. So we've put all of this in one box. If I want to, what's the question? Well, how do I take a number like 36 and find out what the price was without VAT? So it's the inverse of this calculation. So we're essentially taking our $F1 and we are multiplying by 10 dividing by 12, because VAT is essentially, actually it's not 10, 12, it's 5/6. %20 is a fifth plus 5/5, so the VAT calculation is 6/5, and this will be 5/6 of the original calculation. So there we go, put that in there, put that in there, and if I type 36 in here, I get 30 as an output. So there's a simple VAT calculator, and a careful eye on how you patch your patch cords together.